Hello, everyone. This is Elijah Wood from Elijah Wood's Lord of the Lies, my new one-man band, a project in which I have um, created the songs from scratch, composed the songs, recorded all parts, performed all parts, and I will be going through the process that I used to create these songs. The first step in the process is going to be creating the actual score, and that's going to allow me to plan the harmonies, plan what notes all the instruments are going to be playing, and make sure the arrangement is harmonically solid. Um, Run into a lot of issues with arrangements if you don't do that part first. And here I was able to make sure all the lyrics are on point, to make sure that the parts are all singable, make sure that all of the notes are within the chord. So right here we have the entirety of all of the tracks that we have recorded for End of Days. We have a total of 44 choir tracks. Each one of these has been individually high passed to have it slope with the highest high pass filters out to the hard left and right, and the lowest high pass filters to match the lowest sung note in the score. So, for example, we have the bass voice. You go here, the bass voice is high passed at 110 hertz, which is a low A, which is the lowest note that it sings. They increase logarithmically as you get out towards the edges, and that's double of the lowest note that they sing. So you're getting an overtone of exactly one octave, 220 hertz. And I did that for all of the choir voices. We got that with baritone. The baritone goes down to 110 hertz as well. I changed the algorithm just a little bit so that the highest high pass is just a little bit higher, so the voice meshes a bit better with the production. The tenor 2, the lowest note was 146. You can see each of these sections have 11 singers, and each of those was recorded at a different tempo. So what I did was go down, and for every different section I would do this, not that dramatically, but you can pick a tempo within plus or minus 10 beats per minute, and that's going to offset a few of the consonants, a few of the transients, a few of the issues with vibrato and phase, because the vibrato is going to be different for every tempo that you record. And when you reset it back to the song tempo of 155, it is going to sound like slightly different people are singing. I mean, you can probably tell it's all me, but I leave the tempo for the lead vocals, which were the most challenging part of the entire production. I left those all at 155. These are high passed a little bit, well, pretty much the same way. They start at the lowest note that, you can find in the score. The frequency was like 130 hertz, and then there's extra takes panned hard left and right, which are double that. And these are just, you alternate between one phrase and the next phrase, and that is why we have the cult leader over here and over here. It's the exact same setup, exact same channel settings. You've got a little bit of reverb, a little bit of fake tape delay. We got some snare drums, the top and bottom. Took DIs of my guitars, and I put those hard left and hard right. They were all run through the Ugratone guitar amp simulator. Let's see, we have the DI over here. You can go to the sequencer. It's really hard to see on this computer monitor. This is the DI track that's just a clean signal. And you run that signal through an amplifier plug-in right here. It's called Ugratone Ampenstein. And you run the clean signal through this. It's supposedly modeling a dual rectifier. It was a $10 plugin. So the results that we're getting from this are somewhat you get what you paid for. It was originally a $50 plugin. But there's free amp sims out there. I think it turned out pretty well. I just need to figure out what settings. You got a tube screamer, compressor, gate, noise suppressor, then your fake dual rectifier, and instead of using the fake cabs that they have, or should I say simulated, they have a IR player here. I got like 500 impulse responses. You can do a impulse of the center of the amplifier and of the edge. So I have that there. I just fiddled around with it till I found a tone that kind of worked. Was running out of time on the production. Once I had the tone that I wanted, I saved it and duplicated it to the right guitar DI. Those are different recordings. I played both of those individually. I edited lightly. Then I went in here and I took it and printed the output of the amplifier simulator and put that output into a fresh audio channel, which is going to show up. The DIs are editable. They look like this. You can tell where each note hits. You can zoom it in, see all these tiny little palm mutes. You cannot see that once you have ran it through an amplifier. So it's impossible to edit, and that's why I don't use the tone that I used on Table's Turn. That was probably my favorite guitar tone that I've ever dialed in, was the tone on Table's Turn. This tone was the first time ever using an amplifier simulator. I think it worked out pretty well. I'm not familiar enough with the software I'm using right now to play it and record at the same time, but I can go in here and do individual like solo takes, if that's anything anyone is interested in. We have the mutes automated, the levels automated. The important thing with mutes is if you have a 44 voice choir, 44 different takes, you're gonna have a lot of noise when those takes are starting and stopping. So I have that all muted in there. I mean, really, there was a lot of work that went into production. My drums are done through Superior Drummer. I programmed that all. It was not the preloaded grooves. You can go to the Superior Drummer unit, and you can see there was picked out my drum set. The snare drum even has one of my mother's old snare drums recorded to one of the hits. Not gonna hit it now because I don't know if it's gonna mess up with the OBS software. Have all my MIDI programmed in here. Oh, yeah, we're not gonna mess that up. It's got too many things going on at once. I'm trying not to mess up the OBS software. But anyway, that's how I did that. Each one of the drum channels is sent out to a separate mix channel, so you can see we've got the bass drum. It has its own channel in the rack. I was trying out a aggressive EQ, which I turned out not picking because, quite honestly, it was too aggressive the way I had it set up for a high pass filter, and it changed the timbre of the drum. But if you go back behind the rack here, you can see that the bass drum is coming out from Superior Drummer. It's just one channel. I have each of these assigned to their respective channels inside Superior Drummer so that they could be mixed individually up here. Made sure to give myself a lot of headroom. Really, you can get in over your head on this, and sometimes it kind of feels like it did, or like I did, but it's great practice putting a song like this together from scratch, doing the score, doing the recording, doing the editing, and everything I've done here all went through this SM57 microphone. So all of the vocals, all of the snare drum takes, it all went through this this microphone. One final word here. Shout out to Bobby Tours of Frightbox Recording. I learned pretty much everything I know about metal mixing from him, and I am still currently a beginner. I learned a few things from my composition teacher Jesse Blair, and that is how I am ended up using Reason, the software, to produce metal. But you can produce pretty much any kind of music in any DAW. Just keep making music, folks.